They found me. So.
Oh, okay, cool. They're sought after.
All right, and we're live.
Hey!
Hi, welcome. Oh,
What's online?
are you going?
Yes.
Hi, Melissa. Carlos going too?
Hi, Veronica.
How are you? Lolo, I'm Lolo.
Hey, Melissa.
Yeah.
I love them. I love them. I love them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh my God. Holy shit! I have messaged you, called you. I don't want to hear it.
We need to do these trips every year.
Or do you want to have to come?
All right, guys, for those of you listening through Zoom and the rest of you, we've got Cheeky over here. We've got Richard over here. I'm assuming you're going to talk about the story, so I don't want to steal the spotlight. But I am so excited you guys are here. I'm so excited that we get to do this with our team. I don't want to get emotional, but this is something that we have all collectively as well as individually have really wanted to do for our team and a way to pay forward. And our dream, as Cheeky, the more Cheeky and I talk, our dream is for this to become a huge thing, just beyond just our teams. So I'm just honored that you guys trusted us in this craziness. But I promise you this is going to be more than you ever can imagine. So I'm glad you guys are here. And without further ado, Richard.
Okay. Can we hear me okay on the computer?
It's recording? Yes.
Yeah? All right, good.
Thank you, Mel.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to talk about the trek. But before we talk about the trek, I'm going to introduce you guys to Blue Missions, what we do, who we are, and why the trek is so important to Blue Missions. So that's kind of the agenda. Blue, to start with, stands for Building Love, Uniting Everyone. That's what we stand for. It's not the color of water. We are a water nonprofit.
Although convenient.
Yes, although convenient. But it does stand for Building Love, Uniting Everyone. And our mission is to connect families that don't have access to clean water and proper sanitation, while also cultivating what we call global citizens. And that means we actually take volunteers with us to the Dominican Republic to work on our projects. And we believe that having a volunteer experience this helps them find their passion, connect with their purpose, come back home to their community and become that global citizen. We were started in 2010 by my best friend, Danny Rodriguez. His dad, Cheeky, that you guys just met, forced him, strongly encouraged him to go on a trip when he was in high school. And it impacted him so much that 3 years in a row going on a trip with a different organization, him and his sister actually started Blue Missions. And the first trip was just 12 friends going to the Dominican Republic to finish part of a school. It snowballed into what it is today. To date, we've accomplished 128 projects, have taken over 25,000 volunteers with us, and next year we'll have over 600,000 hours served for our volunteers. And our volunteers range from high school students to the 60-year-old grandma that comes with us on our all ages trip. So I am going to educate you guys a little bit about the water and sanitation crisis in general. So we do have some interactive questions. And this is something that we do with all of our volunteers. Close your eyes, don't close your eyes. Just think of the different sources of water that you have in your house. And I usually always get the really enthusiastic boy tell me that I have a water source in my bathroom, right? It's a high school student saying, okay, well, how many sources of water do you have in your bathroom? And they can't figure that math out too quickly. So we help them out and we say, oh, you actually have three. You have a toilet, a sink, and a shower. And you think, well, how many bathrooms do you have in your home? And the half bath that people just go in for the guests. And okay, now go into your kitchen and do we do dishes and wash your clothes, I hope, is the easy joke there for us. And you have a pool. And if you're in a home and you go outside in the corner of your house where you have all the weeds growing, but there's still a spigot there that everyone kind of stays away from, that's still a source of water. You can open that, it'll work. So we get those numbers pretty quick. The slides just show the different sources of water. And we're going to a community that has zero of this. They don't have anything. So it's kind of, okay, this is odd, this is different. 99% of our volunteers have been born into a home that has water in their refrigerator. It's very easy. It's something that, you go to a restaurant, the first thing they do is give you water, right? And then they ask you, what do you want to drink? Right? So it's easy for us here, and it's kind of difficult for us to relate. That's what we want to do first, is try to relate. So the next question is, how many people do we think don't have access to clean water? Billions, millions, hundreds of thousands? Right? The answer is actually 663 million people don't have access to clean water. That's about 1 in every 10 people. Right? So that's the crisis that we are fighting. So the next question and the next activity I ask our volunteers to do is to close your eyes, don't think about it, is think about that special woman in your life. Right? So I always say, mom, sister, aunt, girlfriend, whatever, grandma, whatever it is, think about that person. And you usually have that person doing some sort of activity in your head. I always think of my mother sitting in her favorite chair reading a book. She's always there doing something, knitting, crocheting, whatever it is, it's her favorite chair, that's her spot in the house. So I ask you to think about that person, and then I say, okay, now imagine that person not doing that activity and spending a majority of their day walking to go get water. Okay? So we just learned we have 0 sources of water in our home. How am I getting this water? I am walking to whatever that nearest source is. On average, you're spending about 4 hours a day to collect. The reason I tell you to think of that special woman in your life is because that responsibility of water falls on the women and children of that community. Right? The male figure goes out to go work in the fields or try to get some sort of income, and then whoever's sibling's turn it is to go get water along with mom or grandma, whoever that female figure is, they're not going to school, they're going to go get water. When we think of that water walk, how heavy a bucket of water is, right? Whether you're holding onto it, this isn't a leisurely walk, right? We're going up, down mountains, this is a pretty difficult walk. So every drop that comes out of that bucket is really, really valuable. That's the water they use to cook, clean, drink, shower, bathe. Now on top of that, the water is dirty. Some of this water that we're drinking is making you sick. We're in a remote area where you don't have water, so something as simple as diarrhea or stomach ache can actually kill you, all because of dirty water. So clean water gives you a lot of things. It gives you, number one, improved health, education, time, and opportunity to get out of that poverty cycle, all with clean water. So the question that we have on the slide is, where do we collect this water? It's with rivers, lakes, wells, and rain. So I always think of, if it's raining, it kind of stinks, but I think of, okay, someone's collecting their water this way, so it can't be all that bad. We talked about this. How many hours do children and women spend collecting water? It's about 4 hours a day collecting water. Oh, I'm sorry. So we've talked about the crisis. We've thought about it. We see how valuable water is. Now, our solution, right? We're doing something about this. Our solution in the Dominican Republic is gravity-driven aqueducts. I'm not an engineer. We employ an engineer out in the Dominican Republic. I just know how gravity works. We find the sources out in the mountains. It's a spring, we test it, you can drink it, okay, good. We create pressure at that water source, create a dam, and pipe it down with PVC to a holding tank, and then from that holding tank to the community. Our volunteers help us construct these projects, and 80% of the work gets done while our volunteers are with us for that 8-day trip span. And so they will see the community not have water get to the community, and a faucet installed in a home. So it's a very, very impactful and special time that our volunteers have and the community members have. So that's where building love, uniting everyone comes from. Toilets, right? So sanitation, another problem. Now this number is even scarier than the 663 million. It's actually 2.3. So that's good. That's 2.4 there. But we're improving. It's 2.3 billion people don't have a toilet. More people have a phone than a toilet, which is wild when you think about that, right? And so our solution there was, it's called ventilated improved pit latrines. As we can imagine, plumbing isn't ideal in the communities that we're in. So we're actually using pit latrines. It's a type of latrine used in many places around the world. And the before and after, for those of us that can't see, you'd rather go to the bathroom in a shed than what we're showing. And then what we build and construct is an actual outhouse, wooden outhouse with zinc walls and an actual real custom-made toilet for that pit. So it's made out of fiberglass, and if you think of your toilet bowl, the bottom is just blown out so that you can use the pit, right? So when we think of a toilet, it's something very simple with us, right? We maybe not think of one unless you need to use one, but we know that they are accessible to us. Something that I learned, and the story that I always share, is anytime I'm on these projects, when you see a little kid running around, you notice, okay, there's not a bathroom here. Just gave this little kid some dignity to be by themselves, go to the bathroom. And then I was with an elderly woman, and I always call the owner of the toilet that we're building the outhouse to come and check it out and kind of critique our craftsmanship. And she looked at it and she said, wow, that's beautiful. And that kind of hit us all in the heart. Like, when was the last time you went to your toilet and said, this is beautiful?
Yeah.
Right? It's a different way of seeing that, right? The value of water, the value of that toilet. So those are the two issues that we are, it's part of our mission, water and sanitation, and two solutions that we have. So now we're going to talk about Pico, the trip, right? You guys are trekking, right? This is, we always say supposedly because stuff in the DR, as you guys will know, is kind of haphazardous, right? On island time. So this should be, and it is claimed to be the largest peak in the Caribbean. So this trek really to us symbolizes kind of that trek to water, that walk for water, right? So this is what you guys will be going on. The schedule, it's for here, it's 5-day schedule. So you will arrive on Friday. On Saturday, we will get to the base camp, more than halfway up the mountain. That's one of the longest days. Not the longest day in your case. The longest day in your case will be the last day. And day 3, it's an early morning wake up before the sun, summit, and come all the way back down to that original base camp. And then, so that's 1, 2, 3. So 4 will be that campo visit. You'll go to a community where we've worked in, where they have water. We may or may not have been there already for a sanitation project, but they will have one of our water projects. We'll have lunch. You'll meet the community, talk about the project, talk about the impact that this project has had in their community and their lives, and you'll see exactly what you trekked for and fundraised money for. And then the next day, you guys are out early in the morning. Any preliminary questions?
Will we have copies of the presentation?
Yeah, I'm going to send this all to you. Yes. You'll stay at our blue office. We will take you to and from the airport, base camp, from the office back to the airport to go home, dinner, and you get back to the city, all of that. Yeah, we'll have one of us with you as well. Don't leave Cheeky behind.
Get there last. It's a pride in my dream.
Okay, so a little bit of kind of what to expect. It's we just say it's intense camping.
Okay.
So yeah, depending, you don't need to bring a tent.
Don't worry,
There's commentary. There's commentary from Jeanette right now.
You do not need to bring a tent. What you do need to bring is a sleeping bag.
Okay.
So you need to pack a sleeping bag, and we have a packing list that we'll send out to you guys as well. This really wasn't part of this first trip. This is an overview of the trek. But your meals are provided on our packing list, are all of the snacks that you should take. There are points throughout the trek where you stop and you do have a snack provided by your guides, and you do have a lunch. Dinners are awesome. They cook for us there, so that's fantastic. But snacking is important because those stops aren't enough. Okay, so you'll get a list of that. Yes.
Oh, you will give us a list of snacking.
Absolutely.
I just want to get an idea because I have a ton of allergies to know like how much stuff I need to bring to myself.
Okay, so let's back up. So we're also tomorrow morning. Fran is going to have an application, the official application for permissions, where we get all of your information. So we'll have all of your allergy information, and we'll be able to cater email specific for you. So send us all of that, and whatever the food allergies, everything is, so that our guides have that, so they have enough food to make for you guys. So yeah.
So the application you guys filled out was just to hold your spot. The official application, he's going to send me the link, and then I'll share it with everybody else.
Exactly. Another important thing to note is when you are trekking, like what you bring, you will not be carrying with you. So you're not going to have, you shouldn't have a heavy backpack on. What you should have is whatever, however you're holding your water. So hopefully a camelback, your snacks, and maybe music, no music, jacket if it gets cold, so on and so forth. Everything else will be taken up to base camp with the guides and the mules. So you will have enough mules in case anyone is really tired, we twist an ankle, or whatever the case is, it'll get you up there or bring you back down. But goal is always no mule, right?
No mules.
Exactly.
No mules.
That's always goal, right?
Hashtag no mules.
Right.
That's our goal.
The fees are covered by us. This is all inclusive. We're just not going to the beach.
No pina coladas.
Yeah, no pina colada.
I do want to mention the mule thing since it was brought up. Guys, if anyone twists an ankle, if anyone just feels that they can't, just know that we do have backup.
Yes.
Okay, I don't want anyone to freak out. You could be carried. Our goal is to walk the entire way. I see someone on the chat, so let me just double check. Amazing. We got this.
Yes, it does. So the question was, does the temperature vary a lot from hot to cold? I know it's in here somewhere, but I can address it now. In the mornings, it is very cold, freezing. You're almost in the 40s. And as you
Which
get
is,
higher,
by the way, amazing camping weather. I don't know if anybody here camps. Trust me, you want that for camping.
It is. It does get very cold. At base camp, we do have fires, so everyone huddles around the fire. And as you're hiking, in the afternoon, it gets hotter. Then you're going to get cold again, and it should get higher. When you guys summit, it's going to be very cold. You're waking up very early because you're coming back down that entire day. Right? So there's a leg of that where it's an 11-hour hike. That's the average time, 11 hours. Yeah. Yeah. You'll get it. It's good. On the way down, it goes quickly. But you'll feel that temperature change. That's the point.
Simple walking down.
It could be low. You guys are going in.
Well, who knows?
January.
First week of February.
First week of February. So it'll probably get a little
change.
than the
And what's the high?
The high. Well, when you get back to Santiago in the city, you're going to be in shorts and a t-shirt. It's going to be in the 80s. Yeah.
Awesome.
So you're going to go from Miami weather when you come with us to our headquarters to very cold weather.
So you're going to go into the coffee shop?
No.
Yes.
You're going to be hot in a tent. I promise.
Yes.
Especially if you're in a sleeping bag.
So hiking always, the sleeping bags. You have the cold weather sleeping bags to keep you warm. You've always slept with a beanie on and the hoodie with the warm sleeping bag. There's a sleeping bag liner that we suggest. You know what? You actually don't need sleeping bag. I'm sorry. The sleeping bags are provided. There's a liner that we suggest that you guys take. Because,
Okay.
Yeah, and it'll keep you warm.
Extra.
Yes. Yeah, keep you extra warm. Extra sanitary cleaner. So it's nicer. Trust us.
Okay.
I did one without, one with is always the way to go. So we'll give you that link. And yeah, when you wake up, you're going to be cold. It's going to be a little cold, but you're going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay.
I said coffee.
I know, I was thinking.
Yes.
They have coffee.
No almond milk. Already
Oh, the
Jeanette
next
asked for almond
slide
milk.
was the weather. This is here is where it tells you how cold it is in the morning. It's
Oh
in
my
the
God, look at
40s.
that. That's exciting.
That's at the top. That's
That's
the
at the
classic Dominican plátano power sign. There.
Oh,
That's
that's a
our
plátano
favorite.
sign.
That's our favorite nun. We did that walk in sneakers without training, same day of.
Oh, wow.
So I have complete faith.
You
in
see,
guys.
we can do
She
this.
did it with no training.
Qué linda.
So yes, it could drop in the 20s.
Okay.
Definitely, especially in the middle of the night when you're sleeping. And right when you guys wake up. Yes.
You guys. I have
When-
camped in 20-some degree, not 20-some, 34-degree weather.
The trick
yes.
is, because when you're hiking, you're always going to start bundled up, and as you're hiking, you're going to start taking off layers. So, the trick is always to layer up, make sure you can take off some of these layers, throw them in your bag, and everyone's always hiking in pants and boots. So make sure you can do that.
And you're going to give us a packing list, so
Exactly.
we'll be specific about that.
Will there be pacers? How do we know how fast my I going? Where am I going? The trail is pronounced. It's very difficult to get lost on this trail. Once you guys start, there is at the beginning a fairly flat trail at the beginning, which is where you kind of want to make up time. Because then there is a part after you have one of your major breaks where you're going up. And that's the part that's one of the hardest parts of that trek, is making that trek up and those switchbacks. Question was, do we provide the walking sticks? We are going to attempt to get everyone walking sticks for a kind of trip kit. So it'll actually be a duffel bag. It'll come with a hat, shirt, a water bottle, and those sticks. That'll be around $150 per person. So we're gonna try to attempt to do that. We're gonna send that to Fran. We're in the middle of finalizing that for you guys. But if not, again, we will send you all of the links to get the sticks. The sticks are a huge help. You think you don't really need them, but it's part of the outfit. Exactly, they are a huge help. The sticks are flexible. They're very lightweight. The ones we suggest are not very expensive at all, and they get the job done. They help you go up and when you're coming down as well.
So it's not just us and other people.
There could very well be other people on the trail while you guys are on, for sure. Yeah. And the trail is big enough that at points you can walk 4 across up this trail.
No, but I mean like as far as mission, or is it just for?
It's
this
so
is
for you
just
guys
us.
with Blue, but there could be other people on the trail during that season. This is
But the
very
pacers and all that you're talking about are part of the
as part of you guys, exactly. And so we always want to make sure. Sorry, question.
And Melissa, has safety ever been a concern?
Safety has never been a concern. We had one person twist an ankle badly, and they took them down with the meal. We picked them up, took them back to our offices. They waited for us. They had a great little time at our HQ. But no, safety has never been an issue. We have enough guys to be with you guys, and you're going to have us on there. At least
you. Awesome.
Base camp, there's the famous fire. It's what keeps us warm. It's wonderful. This is the time where we eat, we wake up early. Yeah, so day 1, that's the goal. It's when you see base camp around the corner, it just kind of pops out of nowhere, and you're like, it's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. That's where you sleep. Depending on how many people are there during that season, you'll either sleep in a log cabin or in a tent that they'll set up for you.
Log cabin? Yeah.
That
We were
depends
calling
on,
dibs on the log cabin.
depends on when you get there, right? Sure, exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
okay, so it's a general community
It's a
type.
general community camp.
So run and grab a log cabin.
I've been there when we're the only ones there. I've been there with a few other groups that are there. Each group has their own guides. Each group has their own meals, so on and so forth. Sometimes they'll make a big family meal for everyone. You guys will be taken care of.
There's actually a shower.
There is a shower. There's full shower and toilets that flush. The shower water is extremely cold. It's going to be colder when you guys get there.
We're not showering.
So
We're not
the-
showering.
the
White
pros
bees. White bees.
are wipes. They can. Yeah, they can. They can heat up some water for you. If you get a guide, which our guide usually does, you gotta, you heat up some water for me on the low and get a little group.
Good to know.
Doing that, part of the packing guide is those wipes.
Full body like
Right.
flushable.
Yeah.
Not flushable.
Exactly. They're awesome. They get the
I'm taking white bath.
yeah. There's the bathroom situation, right? You have a full bathroom. Other than that, on the trek, you are out in the open. So something else that's in that pack is your wipes, your toilet paper.
Okay.
But once you do get to base camp, you have access to a bathroom and running water.
But the wipes we bring, so.
Correct. Yep. It's part of it.
I know. I'm always-
That's what
And then
probably
on-
Becky's thinking. She
At
drinks a lot of
certain
water.
points, when you're walking at certain stops, there is a latrine that you can use.
Okay.
How often
Unless you're in
like
the
how often? How many miles?
There are at least 3 to 4 different latrines on the trail. Right.
Okay. So we
But
have
it's-
opportunities.
Yeah, you have opportunities, right?
Okay.
But there will be a point in time when you're in the middle of the trail and you gotta go to the bathroom. You gotta go to the bathroom and pull your eye. Sometimes you're really close to a latrine.
I've always said the
Sometimes
forest
you're
is
in
your
the middle.
biggest toilet.
Exactly. Right?
A lot of baby wipes.
Yeah, lots of wipes.
So like I said, transportation will take care of you. You get to the airport, you're gonna hop in this bus and we'll take you over to base camp. And then when you're traveling in Santiago, you'll travel in our bus as well. Pretty simple. Safety, this is our general heat exhaustion tip. That is the #1 cause of any emergency that we've ever had. So you guys are gonna be training. Of course, we could always twist an ankle or something that happens. Hopefully it won't. But heat exhaustion, right? It's always just make sure we're drinking water, make sure we're hydrated. When you're thirsty, it's too late. Pace yourself, right? As part of those pacers, you'll naturally get into different groups. There'll be parts where you're walking together, but there'll be parts where it's just you, your thoughts, and the mountain, right? And you'll be by yourself. So just make sure we're pacing each other well, not going overexerting, knowing that your last day is the full day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring the hydrate sticks.
Yeah. I know. We're all going to bring our
There's
hydrate,
sticks, there's
energize.
the gummies, there's all of your,
We
your
got it.
nuts with you, all that easy stuff
Don't
that I
you
know
worry.
you guys. I'm not worried at all.
Yeah.
Exactly. Someone asked about safety. The first aid kit will be on the trip. Has just about everything you need there. We'll definitely pack extra moleskin as well. That is also on your packing list. Moleskin is for the blisters, right? For the calluses and blisters. But you guys aren't going to have any because we're going to be ready.
Yes.
So that's good. But yes, the worst case scenario, if you need to have an IV, we can put an IV in you, but I know it's not going to get to that.
Is there anybody that's a nurse in the group? Or close to being a nurse? We'll pick close, we'll pick close to being a nurse. That's good, that's close enough.
Close enough.
That's
We'll
close
take
That's
it.
real close.
Little IV insertion.
He's kidding.
I think our guy with the rule is an expert, right?
We're not gonna need that.
Exactly.
We're not going to need
Look, this is your allergy question.
And
Oh,
none
yeah.
of my allergies like threatening or painful with EpiPen. They're just really digestive, itchy stomach.
Okay.
So, it's not like.
Perfect. If you do have allergies, please
Yeah.
don't forget that if you have an EpiPen with, please do not
Yeah.
forget to chew that.
Yeah.
Don't forget your EpiPen. Had a volunteer do that before.
I don't even have one, but
It's
I'll
not
probably get
fun.
one just for the trip.
It's never bad to just in case have your EpiPen. Any regular medications that you're taking, take with you. Our first aid kit is stocked full with over-the-counter medication, but if you're taking anything specific, please make sure you have that with you and on you, not on the bag that's going on.
Yeah,
It's
what it
going
was,
with you
but it
ahead.
might be a little further off, and it might be better. So,
It'll be
the
ahead. So
emergency
you
stuff,
want
you would-
all the essentials with you. We don't want to test out any new medications or vitamins or
While on
whatever the
the trip.
case is. Well, yeah, we don't want to do that. But we're all adults here, so I think we can follow those easy instructions and use our common sense. Any questions on this?
Did they ask anything on the showering when you get up there? You did that. And you get the answer.
Yep. If we do go to the hospital, this is the Baptist of Santiago. It's called Ham's Hospital. I had the luxury of staying there this summer.
What happened?
I ate something. Probably shouldn't have eaten it. I paid for it. So, but it's great. Has air conditioning, which is a big plus. It's the Baptist of.
Also something we will not be visiting.
No, I'm visiting. Yeah, but it's there. You want to research it up so that you know where you're going to be if we have to take you there. So, te cae mal, you have a stomach ache, you got to get over there just to get rehydrated. That's where we take you. Vaccinations and immunizations, you should be generally very safe when you're going to the DR. If you go to your doctor regularly and have your physicals and all that good stuff. We always just follow the CDC guidelines. So there are a few there, but you should be all up to date. There's nothing special. And we will send this via email. If you do want to consult with someone, We partner with the International Travel Clinic, which is right here on Sunset. Dr. Mabunda, she's great. She takes care of us whenever we need something. So they're fantastic. But always talk to your primary care physician first. And generally speaking, they're usually perfectly fine to travel to the Dominican Republic. Your passport. Very, very, very important. We check the expiration. I believe it is 6 months before your travel date.
Passport card is not sufficient.
Yes, you need to have the actual passport.
And triple check that with regards to the date of travel. Because I had a case of a friend of mine in Mexico recently where it was 5 months and 3 weeks.
Yeah, so if your passport is going to expire within 6 months of travel, they will not allow you to use that passport. That has happened to us too.
Yes, so make sure your passport is up to date. If you need to get it expedited or need to renew your passport, let us know. We have a letter that we can send to you to help you. That you're traveling with us, so on and so forth. So let us know. But
check
so far,
passports now.
Please check your passport. Okay. Do we have any questions that I can answer? I don't know if you want to check this.
Do we have any questions so far, honestly?
We're going to go into now payment.
Oh, she was saying safety. She said she meant in terms of people. I guess stranger danger.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Stranger danger.
Safety, yeah.
Yeah, we've never had an issue with anyone on these paths. This is a very, I don't want to say tourist, but it's a popular hike that you want to do to experience the summit. So you're in shape, you're athletic, you're training specifically for the summit.
The guys that we do,
Yes.
people that are fiancé that we dealt with. I mean, if anything, like any other country, the main city is more dangerous than where you're actually going. So Santiago is more dangerous than Colombia.
Okay. Did you hear that, Melissa? I don't know if she can hear.
I didn't hear.
Okay, so what he said is if you, technically, the city would be more dangerous than the trek itself where we're camping. If you think about a city, and not that anyone's ever had an issue, but if you think about a large city with that population, chances are that you'd have more issues in the city than on the actual trek or camp, hike.
Our guys are experienced.
She says, thank you, I'm fine, my dad's freaking out. Yes, my dad. Actually, my dad would too. But I do want to take this moment to tell you, I don't know if Richard mentioned it, he probably did and I missed it, but these blue missions are usually high school kids. Both of my kids, when they were 15, went unaccompanied. In other words, not with their parents. We had to trust these young men and women. Yes, actually, my kids were on your team. We needed to trust them. And by the way, there was zero communication with our kids. I'm telling you this not to scare you. It's just the opposite. We as parents were afraid because we were sending our most important parts of our lives away in this, far off location with people that we didn't even know. And then, and I'm thinking, my God, this is a kid. He's taking my kid. Like, are you sure you know what to do? Like, I went through all of this years ago. Both my kids, which by the way, were not my daughter, but my son, went kicking and screaming. He did not want to go. And he absolutely came home and just, Mom, we have to do this as often as possible. He was that transformed, that impacted. So I want to ease your fears in that. How many trips between Blue Mission and Life have you guys had?
Well, we've done over 128 projects.
Over 128 projects in 10 years.
Next year, we're going to be well over above 3,000 volunteers with us. 80% of those volunteers are between the age of 15 and 17.
So hopefully that gives you a little bit of perspective. Tell Dad, Melissa.
So my question was about, I know you're gonna give us a list of what we have to take, right? But I've never been hiking before, specific as to what kind of shoes you should get.
Like high tops versus, Mary's asking how specific is the list going to be? For example, hiking boots. High tops versus regular hike. Are you gonna be
the list is specific for our so
okay.
you'll get that.
I do recommend it to have, like Columbia type boots, ideally to your ankles. High tops, some people like the shorter, bigger, whatever. I would recommend high tops. because
High
if
tops,
you walk-
hiking boots.
If you're walking in an area where if anything happens here, it's gonna be an ankle sprain.
So that's all on the list, like Columbia.
Yeah.
Everything from boots to even the socks to wear with your boots.
Okay,
And
good.
walking space is another.
Yeah,
But you're
we
gonna-
talked about that.
We pay you for that.
Yes, yes, and you'll know that before the end of next week. So there's plenty of time for that, and we have the I guess like a packing group list on Amazon that we can send you everything, and it puts everything in your
Oh,
in your
very
cart.
cool. Awesome.
How soon are we gonna get?
So we have that.
She-
The
next
packing
week.
list you'll have next week, and then to know if we can actually provide the sticks for you will be before the end of the month, in October. So.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so we're gonna go into payment costs, how that works. Actually, so there's two numbers behind me. It's $1,250 plus $250 community contribution. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the trip cost is $1,250. That includes your flight, transportation, insurance, food, housing, all of the above. Again, all inclusive, no beach type thing.
No
right?
beach.
No beach,
Okay.
no liquor.
Right. Mountain view. Oh, yeah,
Mountain view.
Part of the back of this.
Pico view. Right.
The adults back of this.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So that's what that is. And that is how we facilitate this trip for all of you. In addition to that, we'll ask each of you to fundraise $250. Now, that $250 is called the community contribution fee, and 100% of that will go towards Blue Mission's water and sanitation projects. Okay, that is our model. It's called the Be Bold model. 100% of all public donations go directly to the field when you're donating to Blue Missions. So when Danny first started this, he wanted to change two things: the way people saw service, right? He was forced to go, came back, wanted to serve. How much fun is serving and giving back? And then when he started Blue Missions, he wanted to change the way people thought of donating and trusting a charity. So we said, we're going to be completely transparent, and 100% of your donation is going directly to the field, to our projects. And the way we cover our overhead is by facilitating these trips. So that trip cost goes to overhead. We have specific donors that donate to overhead. So when you go on our website and donate $5, those $5 are going directly to those projects. These $250 that you guys are fundraising in addition to your trip cost, 100% of that is going to our projects. And you'll see on that last day what our projects look like and the impact you guys are making just by going on this trek.
That's the minimum.
That's the minimum.
We're hoping to fundraise even more than that.
So when you are fundraising for your trip, remember, majority of our volunteers are high school students, right? They either have mom and dad pay their way. A lot of them also fundraise their way. You can absolutely fundraise and sponsor your trip costs. Okay, that has to be done individual of Blue Missions. You do that on your own. You either get the check written out to you and pay us via credit card in your application. When you sign up in that application that you get, you will have different payment plans. You can pay in full. You have, I think, 3 or 4 different payment plans where you'll have your credit card, and each month it'll be taken from your credit card. That is up to you. So if you have someone sponsor you, you can have them write the check to you, and then that credit card will be charged. You can also have them write the check to Blue Missions and send it our way, and we will take care of that for you as well.
So the way I usually do it is if someone's sponsoring me, so obviously covering my $1,250 travel costs, someone's going to write a check, or a few people, checks up to the amount of $1,250 right now to Blue Missions, and on the memo saying sponsoring Fran. Okay? Once your travel costs have been covered, everything beyond that is 100% fundraised for the entire team that you guys are going to put together.
Correct. So, well, I think we
Got it.
Okay. Thank you for the information. Now, the community contribution fee, we do give you the link to fundraise that money. So there will be a team set up for you guys, whatever that team name is. Awesome, I'm sure. And then each of you will have an individual page under that team with a minimum of $250, equaling that total goal for you guys as a team.
So to not confuse people, I'm gonna give everyone the opportunity to go ahead and cover their travel costs first. And then once you've covered your travel costs, I'll give you the link for the fundraising page. The reason for that is I don't want anyone to send somebody that link, and let's say somebody went ahead and, you know, donated $2,000 out of that. $1,250 was gonna cover their travel costs, and they're gonna be like, wait, they donated all this money. That cannot be transferred over to your travel costs.
So it has to be checked. It can't be like a
We don't have Venmo, we can send PayPal invoices.
Not only that, but anybody that is doing, wants the tax benefit, it's gotta be a check. You're gonna want that check.
We'll generate receipts as well. It can be a PayPal invoice that generates a receipt. It can be written
Yeah,
off as well.
most of the organizations that donate usually want to give you a check because they want that for their tax purposes, for accounting purposes.
Right.
Yeah.
And then on the link, another help that you'll also have in fundraising your community contribution fee is it's gonna say $250. That's like your goal on your individual page. This isn't for your trip costs, it's completely separate.
Right.
It's, you know, I'm doing this trek, and on your page you get to edit the picture, edit what you're writing. I am doing this trek for X, Y, and Z. This money, 100% of it is going towards blue missions, water project. You can create that little blurb.
Right.
So that
And
when
it's gonna
someone knows
be
it,
one link for the team, and then they can
Correct.
specify per person. Okay.
Exactly.
The checks payable to the mission with the memo sponsoring.
Checks
does
payable
cover
to
our
Blue
costs.
Missions.
That would
Correct.
count, just not
As
that
long as they say sponsoring Mary Trunks.
Exactly. Okay.
Questions,
Yeah.
anybody in
This
this
is just-
group? I think.
Thank you, questions, comments, concerns. Tried to make this as quick as possible.
Oh, Katrina wants to know, sorry, I missed that one. Katrina wants to know, can she bring her own pack?
Her own,
She's an avid
She's a
hiker and
her own pack.
pack, yeah.
You can, but yeah, you absolutely can.
Yes, yes.
People do it. But,
I know, I probably would have most of the stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people just, since it's gonna go up on the menu anyways, you take advantage and you just carry your water and your essentials on your backpack.
Any other questions, guys?
Okay, so if you can write in a comment. Now, we're all gonna take out our phones and we're going to follow Blue Missions on Instagram at blue_missions to stay connected with us. Those of us that.
Sorry, there's a question.
Yes, question.
Do you have a specific letter when asking for donations?
We do.
I
on
had a
our-
feeling, I'm like, I wanna say I remember seeing one.
We do. We have one on our website. We can include
I'll
that.
write that down. And then, of course, I'll send all of you guys that letter.
Let me ask, I don't know if this is a good job, like, if we have tax, if we can get company to sponsor us, and we can put like the logo or like make something.
Absolutely, I think that's a great idea. So Jeanette's idea was if we get companies that sponsor us, that maybe we can get packs, or get their logos on,
Maybe
you know,
like a
certain
little
packs.
banner that you take.
Or like a
when you're up
banner.
there,
That's a good idea.
picture.
Let's get our travel costs covered. I know that's everybody's biggest concern. And then after that, I love that idea. Don't forget
We
it.
have a great Instagram.
Sure.
Once again, the Instagram account that we're starting to follow is
Blue_missions.
blue_missions.
Who takes your picture?
Me. Nikki,
We
and
have
the
a
team. Just the team.
photographer
Yeah.
taking our
These are all-
pictures.
So these
I
are-
hope that
these
phone
people
chargers on that
are
list.
there to take us from home. Tell us that we're not gonna have very much service.
You're not gonna have service.
You're
You
not
wanna
gonna
take
have
the
cell
charger-
service.
You wanna take external chargers, because if you do music, pictures, right? You know, a lot of us do, and you wanna download, that's gonna be, so we're gonna give you kind of, along with friends and you guys' workout regimen, we do give you some video tutorials and kind of pro tips when downloading. Make sure all your music is downloaded, or your podcast, or you have something to listen to. You
Okay.
have to download it because you're not going to get reception out there. The external chargers is what you want to bring. And then even something called the rest step for anyone who's an active hiker. There's something called the rest step to help you walk more efficiently.
Oh,
that's very cool.
I like that. See that, Becky?
What is that exactly?
The rest up is a way to move your leg when you're walking in order to remove pressure from your glutes and your hamstring.
So that's something we should learn.
Yeah, and there's a video. It's very simple. It's you might do it already when you're walking up the stairs naturally. So it's nice.
So since he mentioned the training, I know a lot of us are doing the high intensity advanced. Okay, and we're putting together a training calendar. But I know that a lot of us are doing the work, for example, that's 6 weeks. Some people, for example, P90X. If you're not, don't worry. We're working on a calendar. We're going to be sharing it. I'm also coming up with a weekend type, you know, going up. I know for those of you in Miami, obviously, but those of you that are, you know, in other locations, a schedule so that you're working on your endurance as you're, you know, ascending a bridge, some sort of elevated, maybe for those of you that don't have a bridge anywhere near you, then it would have to probably be like a, what do you call it, a treadmill on an incline, so, or a Stairmaster. That's actually a really
So
good
some tips. The one thing I'll say is you're not running, so that's a plus, right? We are walking. You are going at your own pace, but you still want to have that endurance training in you, and then going at an incline up, right? So Stairmasters, any incline, whether you have to walk to a garage, and just start walking that for a lengthy time. We used to just go to a hotel that would let us just run up and down the stairs. We have the bridge right here in Miami.
So don't worry, we're going to come up with we already are in the works, but we're going to share with you a training plan. But know that a lot of the endurance, for me, your lungs, you know, your heart, anyone doing the work and that kind of program, you're going to, you know, already half the battle. The rest of it is just going to be more ascending different locations.
When I did the trip a few years back, the two things I did were keep skating, and that's like maybe an hour and a half or so of either walking it back and forth or jogging it up and walking down. Doesn't have to be all that much. And then I would go to the Marriott in Dayton, and we would do like maybe up and down the 14, 15 floors, like maybe first time 3 times up and down, and the next time maybe try 4, get to about 5, 6 times. To the 14th floor, up and down. Well, that's what we'll do.
Imagine how much we get to eat.
Once you do that.
That's all she's thinking about, how much we get to eat.
The first time you do it, you're kind of in shock if you're not used to that exercise. Like I remember with a good friend of mine, he almost died. He was like, you know, and it's
But I
because
feel
you're-
the same way. I feel the same way about
But
the
then you
Rick.
realize this is what will be happening with us in the Pico. The Pico will have a flat terrain, and then we start to move it up, and we go flat again, and we go up, and we start going that incline. You feel your heart starts, you know, giving you challenge.
Yeah, the first time we ever did the Rickenbacker, I thought I was gonna die. And then each time got a little bit better. Your heart and lungs get used to it, which is exactly why we're going to be training together. So don't worry, we got you covered.
Well, if anybody wants to come, I have them in a building, so.
Any questions? Packing, our list, the fundraising, any questions regarding any part of the trip, actually? Okay, so Richard's going to be sharing with me. We have mountains here. Yay, Melissa. Richard's going to share everything with me. Obviously, I'm going to give you guys all this information. In the meantime, just so you know, what I'm personally going to be doing is I'm going to be going to businesses. I'm going to go to my husband's business partner. I've got gym members, gym owners that are friends of mine. I'm going to be approaching them. And just like if it was any old walkathon, I'm going to ask them, hey, you know, would you like to sponsor and have a big part of such a huge impact in this community? And thankfully, my kids, when they did it, never had any kind of issue. And I have no doubt that with the influence that all of us have, it's going to be very easy. Everyone good? So incredible. Thank you Melissa, thank you. Thank you, all of you guys. Thank you guys for trusting us and doing this, because I'm just so excited that we're going to up this mountain together and have this experience. Thank you guys. All right, so if there aren't any other questions, I'm going to go ahead, guys, I recorded this.
Wait, let's take a picture of
Oh,
them too.
oh yeah, that's
Will
right.
you hold them? Turn your cameras on if you can.
Oh, yeah, that's a
okay.
good one.
Well, will you escort our
Oh,
lovely guests to the water?
It'd be my honor.
Stand on this side so you're not by yourself. Oh, so we're not gonna have. I didn't see you there, girl. Where'd you come in? Did you just walk in?
on the metro and I walked across US one.
I didn't see you here.
Oh, yeah, where am I going? And do one profile the other way too, please. Uh-huh.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the info.
Good faces.
I'm most excited about us not having phones for 4
we're
days.
we're talking to his belly button. You guys, I want to take you guys on a quick tour.
Oh, I love that.
So this is, hold on. This, it kind of shows the process that he was talking about. I don't know how well you guys could see the slides, but this is how they build and collect water and send it down to the little plants that they create. These are the plants, and that sends it into the villages. So it's kind of like a sketching of the diagram. And this I don't remember. I should have them do.
The things that they focus on.
Yes, the things they focus on.
So they not only do the water and the aqueducts and the sanitary, but they actually educate the villages, especially the women, how to, a craft and how to, start a trade. They focus on educating on health. Obviously, time, saving them time, the hours, obviously, walking.
This is a beautiful potty. You guys heard him give the explanation of it earlier. I just don't know. Like, this is the potty. Do you want to explain this one? I'm doing a bad job.
Sure. No, you're doing great. This is so for our volunteers when they're working with us. Obviously, it brings you together. Our project's one of our main sustainability right there.
Sustainability.
And the dedication it takes to go on a trip like this and make that impact is always important.
Yeah. And then one more thing. This one's really cool too.
Are you going to show them the wall?
Yeah. So this is a wall, and there's just one picture from each one, so you're not going to be able to see all of them, but one picture from each of their first 100 trips. And it's just really cool.
Look how excited they get.
Yeah, look at this.
When they actually have water.
Where's the one?
Look at this over here.
Hold on, grandma.
I'm sorry. They get so happy when they get water. Can we please look at this?
Oh,
I'm sorry. You know me and kids.
so cute. Yeah. But if I back it up, you guys can see how impressive. Yeah.
It's like
It's all of these. And a special picture from each of them. So really, really cool. Anything else I should show you? I don't think so. So thank you guys. It doesn't matter you got on late. It's recorded, so if you didn't hear the beginning, you can hear it on the replay. And I know Zelly and Alicia couldn't get on live, but super excited. Are you guys excited?
I'm super excited.
Yay! All right.
Can't wait.
Thanks for
Thank you
having us.
guys.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.